Always great to see everyone again. I believe we've had a very encouraging, camp so far. We're still stacking days and, continuing to grow and improve and build this chemistry that we have for this team this year. Can't wait to get out there and play some real football this weekend. And, we're all really excited, but we're taking it day by day and just trying to capitalize on all the opportunities to grow.
Justin, who in that wide receiver room do you feel like you have the best chemistry with at this point?
Really, all of them. I mean, all those guys, they've been here working from day one, and, just being able to get these extra reps in with them has been huge. And, I trust every single one of those guys, and I trust KO and Coach McCarthy to make the right decision. Who's that next guy up?
JJ, what was your reaction when they told you were playing Saturday?
Say that one more time.
What was the reaction when they told you were playing Saturday?
Oh, I was fired up. Yeah, I just obviously last year, it was the last time I played football for that year, and just to be out there with the guys again and see those live bullets before Monday night, it's extremely huge, and yeah, just absolutely fired up for it out.
What are the big things you hope to get out of it? Just the experience of playing. What are the big priorities for you in your development from a game?
The biggest priorities, I would say, is just the overall choreography of the offense, and making those right decisions and being able to function as one unit, one heartbeat, and be all on the same page, execute, and just fall on our football philosophy and have it come to life.
Long climb for you to get back to playing at US Bank Stadium, even if it's preseason. Will you take a moment just to appreciate how far you've come and what you had to put behind you?
I will take a moment, and I'll take this moment to thank the athletic training staff, thank my coaches, thank all my teammates. Everyone throughout that journey has just been amazing, and I think it did a lot more good for me than bad. And just being out there again is going to be really special, and I can't wait to go do it.
The check marks of things, since last year, going through all that, where does actually getting back into a game, even a preseason game, sort of rank as far as that check mark goes?
The ranking, it's high up there, because it's live bullets, and, feeling the rush and feeling a couple hits and bouncing back and having to make those smart decisions after those hits. And, I just feel like the crowd noise, even though it's at home, it's still loud in there. All the different little things that you have to, kind of adapt to as an offense. And, it's our first little test run, so we're extremely excited for it, and it's definitely high up on my rankings.
Where do you think you've grown the most in the past 3 weeks since training camp started to today?
I believe I just grew in the offense, more and more. Each rep, there's so many new plays that we install. So just being able to get those experiences down and how that throw felt, how that route concept felt versus that coverage, all the little things that just keep, banking into that subconscious mind and being able to react and, play as fast as possible when it comes to the real test.
You talked about throwing with touch. Where do you feel like you are with that and how that's been going in camp?
I feel like I've improved, but, I'm definitely not there yet. Obviously, it's, work in progress every single week and every single day. Your body's going to feel a little bit different. Your arm's going to be a little bit more sore. So just adapting and always trying to find that sweet spot is something that I would continue to work on. I'm very excited to play against another defense. Coach D'Amico, he's going to have some great game plans for us, and, there's going to be players firing off, and I respect the heck out of that defense, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good test for us.
It was probably banked in a bit, JJ, on Monday night, but how much do you expect it to run as well? Like, in the drills, you took off 3 or 4 times, and it looked like that was a theme. But just as far as your legs go, as far as where things stand, how comfortable are you if things start to break down with taking off, trying to get 5, 10 yards, whatever?
Extremely comfortable. I almost wish you didn't ask that because I like to keep that on the low. But, I think that's a huge part of my game. And, it's a weapon in this league, and you kind of have to have it as a quarterback with these edge rushers and the different pressure looks and stuff like that. You got to be able to, help KO out if, a play call isn't a certain way versus a certain look. So I feel like, that's a huge part of my game and definitely see it in the future.
What is the balance when knowing to do that or to not do that? To take off early or to kind of wait until it all comes together?
you never wanted to speed up your thought process and, going through your progressions and all that. Obviously, you get a cover two-man look. You're kind of thinking of it in the back of your head, but you never want to speed things up. And I feel like, it just is a time and place really for me when I put a shoulder down or when I slide, and it's a lot more times where I'll be sliding. But it's just, adapting with the game, adapting with, how the rush lanes are happening and how, contained they are. But yeah, it's definitely a huge part of my game that I will definitely utilize.
Anything different with your throwing motion to be a little bit more accurate throughout the regular season?
A big thing that I've been kind of working on this off season is just making sure, my head stays steady and, not kind of lean in this way, generating force with my head and my front arm. So just making everything in sequence and balance, that's probably the biggest thing.
To go back to the Saturday practice, what's going through your mind when Aaron takes that second hit and you're the first guy to come to his defense? You don't see QBs do that a ton. What's your mentality there, or thought process?
Those are my brothers, and no matter who it is, especially 3-3, I'm the first guy in the fight, no matter what. And, they know that. I know they would do the same thing for me. So just as a QB and, former hockey player, used to be the enforcer out there, believe it or not. But, I love that stuff, just letting the teammates know I got their back because I know they got mine.
You talk a lot about in this offense, it's what you do pre-snap. How important is it to get live bullets in the stadium, even though the fans are quiet per se, just to kind of get your cadence down that way pre-snap?
It's extremely huge because, there's a lot of run criteria cans that we have, versus different looks and be able to go through that operation. Our defense, they hide a lot, they move a lot. So just being able to see somebody else and adapt to that scheme is going to be huge for just, our cadence of things and working on cadence too, especially, in a loud environment that US Bank is, even when it's the offensive side of the ball. But, you got to work those cadence. We got to become, extremely efficient with all the little things pre-snap, like you said.
You talking to Justin on the side after plays. What's he been like as a resource for you, even though he's not practicing right now?
Incredible leader, incredible brother. I mean, just being able to pick his brain about anything, how he ran things in the past, how he saw how Jordan ran this route, or, any of the guys. And just his wisdom, for real wisdom. He's getting, 26 now. He's got some wisdom now. But it's invaluable. And, I just appreciate his energy and his presence around the guys. Just love that guy and can't wait to get him back out here.